Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're doing something a little different. We're not just diving into a topic, we're actually looking at the art of explaining it. We're going to break down how you build a powerful story right from scratch.
So, have you ever wondered how you take thousands of years of really complex history and turn it into a story that actually sticks with people? I mean, a story you can't forget? Well, that's the big challenge for any creator, right? And today, we're going to deconstruct a blueprint that was designed to do exactly that for one of the world's oldest and, frankly, most fascinating civilizations.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to walk through this 5-part blueprint to see exactly how a great historical narrative gets built, step by step, from that first spark of an idea all the way to the final impact it leaves on you.
All right, let's dive right in. Part 1, the storytelling challenge. Because look, every great project, every great story, it all starts with one thing, figuring out the core problem you're actually trying to solve. And the goal for this project? It's pretty ambitious. The idea is to take all this dense academic stuff, ancient chronicles, archaeological finds, super scholarly works, and transform it, turn it into a story that just about anyone can connect with, feel, and actually understand. Okay, so next up is the foundation. And just like building a house, if you don't get the foundation right, the whole thing comes crashing down. So this blueprint is built on 3 core principles, and these are totally non-negotiable. And I want to be clear here. These aren't just, nice suggestions. They are the absolute essential rules for building trust with your audience. If you nail these 3 things, everything else has a much better chance of falling into place. This first one, historical accuracy, is so important. The point is, great storytelling doesn't mean you get to make stuff up. It's the opposite. It's about taking the truth, the verified facts from incredible sources like the Kebra Nagast, which is Ethiopia's foundational national epic, and then weaving them into a narrative that makes that truth come alive.
Okay, principle number 2 is a game changer. This idea that history doesn't happen in a vacuum, it's just so crucial. The whole blueprint insists that to really get Ethiopia's story, you have to see it as part of our shared world history. It's an interconnected piece of a much bigger puzzle.
And look at how this is laid out. This is what's so cool about it. You can see how it visually maps these local events onto a global stage. All of a sudden, the Kingdom of Axum isn't just an African story. No, it's a story about trade with the Roman Empire. The Battle of Adwa isn't just a battle, it becomes this massive, pivotal moment in the global fight against colonialism. See how that works? It just clicks. And that brings us to the third big principle. One story, but told through many different voices. This is huge. History is never just one person's perspective, right? So to really capture how complex it is, this blueprint totally avoids a single top-down narrator. Instead, it creates this incredible dynamic conversation. And here's how they do it. This mix of presenters is so smart. You've got your main narrator, kind of like a guide. Then you bring in historians for that deep analytical take. Then, boom, voice actors to give you that emotional punch. And you round it all out with cultural experts and people from the diaspora who bring their real lived experiences. It just makes the whole thing feel so much richer and way more authentic. Okay, so our foundation is solid. Now let's talk about the architecture. This is the structural plan, the framework that's going to hold the whole story together. So instead of just dumping thousands of years of history on you at once, which would be overwhelming, the whole epic is broken down into these 4 clear, digestible parts. Each one has its own focus, its own theme. It's like a journey that takes you from ancient times right up to today, but in a way that you never feel lost. All right, now for my favorite part, the finishing touches. This is where the real magic happens. This is how you add the color, the texture, the emotion that turns what could be a dry history lesson into something you truly experience. And this right here really shows you why they chose that multi-presenter format we talked about. On the one hand, you could have a single, authoritative voice, which, let's be honest, can feel like a lecture and get a little boring. Or you can have what's on the right, a dynamic, living conversation. It's a conscious choice to create a more immersive audio world for you, the listener. And the blueprint literally gives creators a toolkit for engagement. We're talking about starting episodes with compelling little stories, using vivid descriptions that paint a picture in your mind, and even doing dramatic recreations of key moments. And of course, a good old-fashioned cliffhanger between episodes to make sure you have to come back for more. It's brilliant. I love this detail. It's all about the sensory stuff. Like, it's not enough to just talk about a medieval monastery.
The guide says no. Make the audience actually hear the monastery bells. Use market sounds. The goal is to literally transport you back in time, to drop you right into that moment. And speaking of richness, to really drive home the country's diversity, the blueprint points to this one simple number: 80. More than 80 distinct languages are spoken in Ethiopia. Just think about that. It's such a powerful and simple way to show you just how incredibly diverse this nation is.
So, we've got the foundation, the architecture, the finishing touches. But what's the point of it all? What's the final impact? When the story is over, what are you, the listener, supposed to walk away with? Well, the idea is that you're not just left with a pile of facts. The goal is to leave you with a really deep and lasting understanding. You should walk away knowing Ethiopia's unique place in the world, why its resistance to colonialism was so significant, and how its incredibly rich past connects directly to its present. It's the so what of the whole story. So you see, by following a blueprint like this, a really meticulous plan from those core principles all the way to the final emotional details, you can take a topic that seems super complex, maybe even intimidating, and turn it into something accessible, something engaging, a journey that pretty much any audience can go on and will actually remember. And that really brings us to the final thought. This has been the blueprint for one story. But the principles we've looked at today, well, they're not just for this one topic. They are a universal guide, a guide for anyone, anywhere, who wants to share knowledge, spark a little curiosity, and tell a story that really, truly matters. So the only question left is, what story will you build?